Welcome to The Explainer. So, let's talk about a super frustrating problem, right? You build a great website, people are showing up, but nobody's buying anything. Why? Well, that's what we're going to get into today, because the answer, more often than not, really just comes down to the words you use. You know, it's so easy to get completely wrapped up in making a website look gorgeous. And look, design is definitely important, but here's a thought. What if your words are actually your most powerful sales tool? They're not just descriptions on a page, they're your brand's voice, literally speaking to every single person who visits. If that question hits home, you are not alone. I mean, getting traffic is a huge win, but getting that final click, that's a whole different ballgame. The missing piece isn't about getting more traffic, it's about mastering two key strategies for the visitors you already have. Okay, first up is CRO. We're going to call it the persuader. Think of this as the art and the science of turning someone who's just browsing into a paying customer, all based on what they see and read the second they land on your page. To put it really simply, conversion rate optimization is all about working smarter with the traffic you already have. It doesn't matter if you want a sale, a newsletter sign up, or a download. CRO is the whole process of gently, but very effectively, persuading your visitors to take that next step. Now, it's really important to separate the how from the what here. CRO, that's the strategy. It's the ongoing process of making your site better and better. The conversion rate, well, that's just your scorecard. It's the number that tells you how well your strategy is actually working. And this, right here, is a total shift in thinking for a lot of people. Instead of pouring all your time and money into finding new visitors, CRO is all about getting more value from the ones you've already attracted. It's about making your marketing efforts way more efficient and, of course, more profitable. You know, great CRO copy works kind of like a trail of breadcrumbs. First, the headline grabs your visitor's attention by shouting out your unique value. Then, the subheadline swips in to add a little more context. And finally, the call to action, or CTA, tells them exactly what to do next. It turns a boring old page from just a wall of text into a guided journey. But effective CRO, it goes way beyond just the words themselves. It's also about how you present them, and even a little bit of psychology. Like, are you talking to a new visitor the same way you talk to a returning customer? Is your unique selling proposition front and center? Even simple things like using bullet points so the text is easy to scan can make a huge difference. So why bother with all this? Well, because CRO pretty much takes all the guesswork out of the equation. Instead of sitting around wondering what your customers want, you have cold, hard data that shows you. And that insight is what leads to smarter decisions and, you guessed it, more sales. All right, so CRO is our persuader. But how do we even get people to the website in the first place? That's where our second strategy, SEO, comes in. Think of SEO as the guide, the one who leads interested customers right to your digital front door. At its core, search engine optimization is just about making your website visible. It means setting up your content so search engines, like Google, can understand what you're offering and then show your site to the right people. In a massively crowded internet, it's how you get found. And let's be super clear about this. SEO isn't just about getting more traffic. It is all about getting the right traffic. You're attracting people who are already raising their hands, actively searching for the exact solutions you happen to provide. Great SEO really starts with listening. You have to get inside your customers' heads and figure out the exact words and phrases they're typing into that search bar. You start broad, then you narrow it down to these niche keywords where you can actually compete. And you always double-check that your content actually delivers on what that person was searching for. So think of SEO as a long-term investment in your brand. Over time, it builds this incredible, sustainable pipeline of people who are already interested in what you do. And being visible in search results, that doesn't just bring clicks, it builds trust and establishes you as a go-to authority in your field. Okay, so we have CRO, the persuader, and we have SEO, the guide. On their own, they're pretty useful. But when you put them together, they become an absolutely unbeatable team for driving sales. Seriously, one without the other just falls flat. Great CRO with no SEO? It's like having this amazing, persuasive store hidden down a back alley with no signs. And great SEO with no CRO? That's like putting up a giant billboard for a store that's totally confusing and unhelpful once you get inside. You need both. Period. Here's the partnership in the simplest terms I can think of. SEO gets the right people to the website. CRO convinces those people to do something on the website.
They are two totally different jobs that share the exact same goal, turning a random person into a loyal customer.
So they're not competing for your attention or your budget. They are two essential parts of a single profitable customer journey. SEO fills the top of your funnel with interested people, and CRO is the expert guide that leads them all the way through to the end.
So, what does this all mean for you? Let's pull all these pieces together and build a simple blueprint you can use to turn your website into a much more powerful sales tool, starting, well, today.
This chart really puts everything into perspective. I mean, while design definitely has its place, just look at where the heavy lifting gets done. It's your copy. The words you choose and the strategies you use to make them visible and persuasive, those are the real engines driving your success. So here are the fundamentals. You've got to treat your copy with the same respect you'd give your absolute best salesperson. Use SEO to bring in those warm leads, and then use CRO to close the deal. When you combine them, you unlock your website's true, full potential. And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with today. Is your website just a passive brochure, kind of sitting there and waiting for something to happen? Or is it an active, persuasive, helpful salesperson working around the clock to build your brand and drive your business forward? The choice really is yours.